The second season of Outer Banks dropped last summer, and it won't be long now until season 3 is with us, and fans are excited, to say the least. The Netflix teen drama was renewed for a third season, but there's no word just yet on when the upcoming season might drop. Today, we're discussing Outer Banks Season 3, potentially changing everything, and everything we know so far about the third installment. First up, what happened in the Season 2 finale? Let's discuss. Well, there was a ton of drama from the very beginning, as Ward is locked in a room by Sarah after the pair have an argument. Rafe checks the ship for stowaways, whilst Kai manages to escape from the container, having previously been locked in. It is revealed that Cleo's on board, and she and Pope get into it, but quickly make up thanks to John B and Sarah. John B reveals that the Pogues that Ward is alive, and Pope then takes care of the captain. The gang lock everyone in the hull, except Rafe, and Sarah goes to get a lifeboat, whilst Kai and Pope lift the cross with the help of JJ. The captain manages to free the others after he escapes, and Ward then tries to kill Sarah by strangling her, but John B comes to the rescue and he and Sarah jump off the ship. JJ also abandons ship, but not by choice. He's thrown overboard by the captain, with Kai then jumping in to attempt a rescue. The crew members then shoot at Pope as he's attempting to move the cross with Cleo and inadvertently drop the line, before Rafe saves the day by catching it. Pope and Cleo then get on the lifeboat, and Rafe helps with the cross, whilst the Pogues escape and take up residence on a desert island, which is pretty cool. What did you guys make of the finale? Let us know below. So when do we think the third season might drop then? Well, as we know, there's no firm date just yet, but like all shows, that doesn't stop us from taking part in a little bit of a release date maths, our favorite game. If we look at the first season, which dropped in April of 2020, filming for the second season started almost immediately after in August 2020. The show spent around 8 months filming, and then 3 or 4 months in post-production, dropping in the following July. We know that Outer Banks Season 3 began filming in February, so if the show follows the same schedule, and there's no reason to suggest it won't right now, then we can probably expect the third season to drop somewhere around the end of this year or early next year. When do you envisage the third installment dropping? What do we know about the cast for the upcoming season then? Stick around to find out. It is expected that all the main cast from Season 2 will be joining us again for the new season, which fans are delighted about. In a recent interview, Stokes and Klein both suggested all the main guys will be returning, which is great. It had been suggested that Madeline Klein may not be returning after her publicized split from Chase Stokes. The two play Sarah and John B respectively, which could have made things awkward, but it has since been confirmed both will be returning. Yay! They could have come to some sort of Cersei Lannister / Bronn of the Blackwater type arrangement, where they don't appear on screen together, after the actors who played both Game of Thrones characters agreed not to be in each other's company on set following their real-life split. Madeline said, "So I'm getting asked if S3 is my final season of OBX. I will come back for as many seasons as they will have me. I love my job, and there's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for it, and for everyone who's watched it. Not everything on the internet is true." Well, that clears that one up then. Also expected to be reappearing in Season 3 is the aforementioned Chase, playing John B. Madison Bailey as Kiara, Jonathan Davis as Pope, and Rudy Pankow as JJ. It also looks increasingly likely that Drew Starkey will return as Rafe, Charles Eston as Ward, Austin North as Topper, and new Pogue, Cleo, played by Carlassia Grant, has also been upgraded to season regular for the next installment. So what can we expect from the plot? One thing is for sure when it comes to the third season of Outer Banks. There will almost certainly be a ton of drama to match the first 2 seasons so far. Hopefully there will be plenty of twists and turns when the show returns, and we can probably count on the animosity between the two tribes carrying on. If we think back to Pope's words when fleeing the ship that it wasn't over, then this pretty much confirms our thoughts. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to stay on the island, but we think probably not. We also want to know about the Pope's family's links to the cross, and of course we will need to know more about Ward. He harbors dreams of living off the grid, but will this materialize? Of course he has faked his death, so we know he's serious, but some people still believe he has a large part to play, so it will be interesting to see how his storyline plays out. We also need to know how and why Big John is back. Josh Pate, showrunner and executive producer, said John B's relationship with his dad is a huge theme, and having his dad back around, and eventually we're going to meet back up, and John B has to reconcile his idealized version of his dead dad with the reality of his alive dad. It gives us a lot of thematic father-son stuff to work with. Interesting. What do you want to see in Outer Banks Season 3? Some filming news now. Stay tuned. So as we know, filming is underway, and whilst the show is set in Outer Banks, North Carolina, it's actually filmed in South Carolina. Originally, Netflix wanted to film on location in North Carolina, but the state's bathroom bill eventually put them off. The bill states that people must use bathrooms of the sex listed on their birth certificate, so production upped sticks and moved to South Carolina, where the same law doesn't exist. Even after the bill was thrown out in North Carolina, the Outer Banks production team decided to head back to South Carolina, where they were already established. The creative minds behind the show, Josh and Jonah Pate, are local to North Carolina but lived in LA for over 20 years, so they more than likely fell on the woke spectrum somewhere and probably weren't impressed by the bathroom bill. North Carolina traditionally provides more financially lucrative incentives to the film and TV industry, so it is odd that the team have decided not to head back to North Carolina, especially since the show is set there. What do you guys think of this? Chase Stokes has been discussing the third season now. Stay with us. Mr. Stokes was recently on hand to explain how Outer Banks Season 3 is going to be a wild ride, which we cannot wait for. John B. and Sarah will be back in action soon enough, and Stokes said Season 3 is going to be even more of a wild ride. These characters have been put through insane circumstances in the last 20 episodes, so I can say it's just going to continue on that trend. This is music to fans' ears, and Chase went on to explain how all the characters would experience a lot of growth because the situation they're in means they're kind of forced into it. He mentioned how the fact that they're stuck on a desert island means that the upcoming season is going to be a ton of fun. When referencing the adventure aspect, Chase went on to claim that I will say that they probably have been having a pretty dang good time living off the grid for a minute. I mean, I know I would take this little deserted island and turn it into a home, but surely they're not going to stay living on a desert island, are they? What do you guys think? Let us know below. And finally, a few other shows similar to Outer Banks to check out whilst we wait for Season 3. So of course, there's a little bit of wait for Season 3. But in the meantime, why don't you guys check out American Vandal? The mockumentary-style show follows occurrences of vandalism at an American high school and the investigation into whodunit. Also, why not have a look at Yellow Jackets? This one follows a high school girls football team whose plane crashes in Canada en route to a tournament. It follows their fight for survival amidst strange goings-on. And also, if you haven't checked out Euphoria by now, what are you guys even waiting for? Which one of these will you be checking out before the third season of Outer Banks drops? Let us know below. As always, thanks for dropping by, and remember to stop by next time when we will be talking about some more fun bits and pieces. Also, why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video? Bye, guys.